When I came to Florida in 1998, the very first church I served was a new congregation. In those days, the UUA was trying to build new congregations around. And I was in one of them. It was called Spirit of Life Unitarian Universalist, over near Tampa, in the northwest corner of Hillsborough County. I think that those folks thought that Carolyn McDade wrote Spirit of Life for them. That's the name they chose, Spirit of Life UUs. But I got to tell you that one of the first times, when we finally purchased 5 acres of land, we met outside, at first under the live oak trees. Very first time we sang Spirit of Life out there and came to the part of Spirit of Life that that says, roots hold me close, wings set me free, a flock of butterflies flew over at that moment. Do they think, did we all think that it was a message from somebody? Anyway, that was Spirit of Life. And you know, I've asked a lot of UUs over the years if Unitarian Universalism is a religion that they practice. I got a lot of different answers. Some of the ones that I've gotten have ranged from, no, I'm not religious, I'm spiritual. Or, I don't believe in spirituality. I don't even know what it is. I don't have it. How can I get some? Or, I'm definitely not religious. I believe in nature, science, the scientific method. So, for any of those people who might have used that answer, I want you to know that today we're doing science. Actually, neurobiology. Your nervous system doesn't care what you call it. It just knows clench and unclench. Now, I almost have to laugh at myself for thinking I could do this sermon, because I am not a scientist. Although I do have mechanical ability, or I used to anyway, and I found that out big time when I worked for IBM. But I'd like to begin today with an explanation. And some science, some neuroscience. How many of you know what your vagus nerve is? Raise your hand. Nobody in back of me, huh? Okay. Your vagus nerve is like a two-way highway between your brain and your gut. Starts at your brain stem and it travels down to your heart and your lungs until finally getting to your gut. It's the longest nerve you've got in your bodies. When it's working well, scientists call it ventral vagal. Ventral vagal, V-A-G-A-L. and it acts like a brake in the car where you slow down. It slows your heart, it deepens your breath, it softens your face, and it tells your whole system that it is safe enough at this moment, in this place, to connect. Obviously, to connect with somebody else, other people. That's why one long exhale can change a conversation. Your body is listening to your breath before it listens to your words. Dr. Stephen Porges is the one who developed this polyvagal theory. You can look it up on Google. Briefly, very briefly, this theory explains how your nervous system acts as a personal surveillance system, constantly scanning your environment for safety or danger. Depending on what it detects, there's one of those words that I often have to spell to make sure you know what I'm talking about. Detects. D-E-T-E-C-T-S. Depending on that, it shifts your body into one of three distinct survival states. It influences your heart rate, your breathing, and your emotional responses. There is, of course, like anything in science, debate. And scientists take positions, including on this particular theory. Researchers in the lab will keep on testing and arguing. That's their job. But the clinicians, the therapists, the trauma workers in the field, they've been using this because it helps explain what they see in real bodies, in real rooms with real people, all trying to unclench. So, we will hold both the science that is still unfolding and the map that the clinicians use that is so useful. We're going to explore what happens in our bodies, and then we're going to end with our relationships. When we loosen our grip on worry, on certainty, I'm right, and control. We will reflect on how safety and breath can help us meet each other and ourselves with more curiosity and less armor. Think of your nervous system like a car with 3 gears. First, the brake. That's the ventral vagal. It's the social engagement. When it is online or working, your body feels safe enough to slow down Your heart rate steadies, your breathing deepens, your face relaxes, your voice gets warmer. You can listen, you can be curious, you can make eye contact. The brake puts the brakes on fight or flight. It says to you, to your nervous system, the danger has passed. You can come out now. The second system, or state, is the sympathetic system, or gear. It's the gas pedal. Fight or flight, mobilized. Clenched fists, fast talk. Scrolling at midnight. It's Michelle Obama. When they go low, we go high. Do something! You remember that? The third gear is the dorsal vagal. This is the shutdown. It's when the check engine light comes on. It's freeze. You collapse. You numb out. I can't even think about this anymore. I just found myself there in that stage. I retired long enough ago that I did not have to learn how to make slides. I had no idea what they were until I saw them in a church. And then as I started to guest preach, they'd say, "Do you have any slides?" I said, "What?" I didn't even know that on my computer, I already had PowerPoint. And that's where you make slides, right? I tried making, a woman from the other church, from Tri-County, said, "I can make slides for you if you want slides." So I sent her 3 slides that were only sentences to finish the sermon. We got to that point, we didn't even use the slides. Don't ask me why, but we didn't. So she was good enough, kind enough to offer to do it, and I screwed up. So this past week, I said, I've got to do some slides for this sermon because there are phrases in here that you will forget the moment you walk out the door. That's why you have to look it up on Google, the vagus nerve. Okay, so with a little help from a different friend, I managed to create 3 slides. I wanted 6. I got to 3. I went back to my computer to do it again, and I was having all these things like, I don't want to do this. I can't do this. I can't do any more of this. I just absolutely cannot. I can't. It makes me want to throw up. I can't do it. That was a perfect example for me about the dorsal vagal state. Did you see my slides today? No, because there aren't any. So I need to think about that some more. Now, I can't talk myself out of that stage. I have to feel safe in order to move out of that stage. So far, I haven't made it there yet. So once again, as we think of our nervous system as a car, I have to tell you this. I happened to drive a 2026 Toyota Corolla Cross. Pure gasoline-powered engine. No hybrid, no electric, of course. Last month, on cruise control, on a trip about 30 miles, 60 round trip, using cruise control, I got 48 miles to the gallon. I have never owned a car like that, ever. This past Thursday, I was in stop-and-go traffic. I got 33 miles to the gallon. Same car, same engine, in a different state. When I am steady, and that means when I use cruise control, because that's the steady, I get my best mileage because I'm not clenching, going back and forth, gas, brake, gas, brake. You know what that's like. When I'm not steady, I don't do my best thinking or my best listening. When I am braced for impact, neither are you. Neither do you. You know that moment when your shoulders drop and you can finally hear what the other person is saying. Really hear what the other person is saying. That's your ventral vagal system. That's the one that puts the brake on. Tells you it's safe enough. Safe enough you can come out now. The ventral vagal system. It's your body saying, safe enough. Now we can talk. She's smiling at me. She's setting a tone for me. I'm going to feel safe talking with her. Even my 14-year-old dog, my Pomeranian, knows the difference between the gas pedal and the brake. When his ears are up and he's barking at the squirrel who dared venture into his sight, he's all gas pedal. He has turned into 7 pounds of fury. But when the squirrel disappears and Jasper sighs, takes a while, he drops his chin on my foot and he finally exhales. That's the brake working. That's his body saying, it's safe enough. And if a Pomeranian, a dog bred to announce that the world is ending with his incessant barking, can find the brake, maybe we can too. Pomeranians are basically anxiety with fur. So if he can downshift, there's hope for all of us. To review, on the polyvagal, one word, poly means several, vagal, the vagus nerve, theory, the science of unclenching. We have more than fight or flight. Your nervous system has 3 main settings. The first one is safe and social, calm and connected, curious, heart rate steady, breath easy. This is where we do our best listening, learning, and loving. The second one is the fight or flight, mobilized. Do something! Heart pounds. Breath is short. Muscles tense. The body clenches. The third stage, shut down. Freeze, immobilized. Too much. Numb, brain fog. Collapsed. Also a kind of clench, just inward. The vagus nerve is the brake. It's called the ventral vagal branch. It's like a hand on your heart. When it senses safety via a calm voice, eye contact, slower exhale, it applies the brake. Heart slows, muscles release, digestion comes back online. Unclenching is physiological. It's not moral. At any point, safety is the treatment. Safety, the treatment. And the most quoted line in all of this, if you want to improve the world, start by making people feel safe. We don't lecture people out of clenching. I can't say to you, you need to stop clenching. You need to change so that your change your tone of voice. You know what you will do? You'll turn around and run. You can't lecture people out of clenching. You can't talk them out of it. You can't talk yourself out of it. You have to feel your way out of it. That made me lose my place. Got it. The body unclenches first. Then the mind follows. The exhale is the doorway. Neuroscience 101. A longer exhale than inhale tells the vagus nerve that we are safe. I'm going to say that again. A longer exhale than inhale tells the vagus nerve that I am safe. That's why sighing, singing, thank you for the three of you plus the pianist for that music today, humming, and reading poetry out loud physically shift us from grip to open. Now, why this matters for us, for Unitarian Universalists? We cannot reason with someone whose nervous system is clenched. Ain't possible. Safety first, debate second. That's conflict and justice work. Burnout equals chronic fight or flight. Collective exhale and mutual care are neurobiological strategies, not luxuries. This is why it's important in worship that ritual, lighting the chalice, music, and silence aren't just fluff. They are vagal regulators. They help us unclench together. So unclenching is not weakness. It's what happens when your nervous system decides that your world at this moment, right this moment, in this place, is safe enough to put the armor down. Remember that at your next congregational meeting. Do a collective exhale. Get yourselves, each one of you, safe so that you can do your best listening. You can hear each other. You don't have to argue. You can let it happen. You can do this unclenched. We can make use of all of this in our daily events. You know your MAGA Republican neighbors, or family dinners that feel like hostage negotiations. They live in the nervous system. When you feel unsafe or unheard, the body clenches first. Fight, flight, or freeze kicks in before the rational discussion part of our brain even shows up to help name it. You can't talk someone or yourself out of a clenched state. You have to cue safety first with your tone of voice, with your breathing, with your feeling of belonging, with the shared exhale. That's not weak or giving up. That is neurobiology. So if today becomes about political unclenching, you've got science, story, and lived experience to work with. Earlier in our story time, we made a fist. We practiced unclenching. Not because it's nice, but because it's neurobiology. What we did with our hands is what your vagus nerve does with your whole body, all day, every day. Brake, gas pedal, shut down, and back to brake. Unitarian Universalism cannot reason with a clenched fist. Democracy cannot reason with a clenched fist. Your family can't. You can't. But you can cue safety, tone, breath, belonging, a shared exhale. So this week, when the news clenches you, I've been experiencing this because I'm a New York Mets fan and I watch baseball games. And I feel this way every time I watch a Mets game because they are so terrible. You can't cure me. I have to do it myself. When the table gets tight, when your own heart starts racing, remember the fist. Check your break. See if you can uncurl one finger. Unclenching is physiological. It's not moral. Safety is the treatment. And if a 14-year-old Pomeranian with anxiety in his DNA can find the break, there's hope for all of us. So go in peace. Go in safety. Go unclenched out that door. Amen.
And if everyone will please stand if you're able and it's comfortable, and join us in our closing hymn, number 298, Wake Now My Senses, and we'll sing 4 verses.